Dax, mate,
How are you,
legend. Thank you.
buddy?
Good man. Thank you so much for taking the time to be number two on the list of the Mindful Men projects to chat. Cheers for being here, mate.
Man, it's an honor to even be invited to even have the chat, man. I'm excited by what you're sort of doing and what's going on.
Mate, I was doing the numbers the other day, and I think,
Mm.
mate, I've known you for close to 10 years now. We met
Yeah. Yep.
back in the day at Fit and Fast Days in the gym. You were
We
sort of
did.
leading the pack in the sales and then
Yeah,
stepped
we
into the
did.
managerial role.
Yeah.
Mate,
Yep.
crazy times. And you've always
It
been
was.
up there with a huge role model of mine, both personally and professionally. You've made a huge impact in my life, more than you'll ever realize. So it's
Wow.
an honor to get you on. And mate, when you speak, people listen. So stoked to have you here.
Oh, thanks, man. You're too kind, and I've always had a special, mutual admiration, man. I think you were the only guy in those years, all those years of sales, that actually beat me a few months in a row with sales targets. I still haven't forgiven you for that yet, you son of a bitch.
Clearly.
Yeah, I got some healing to do, man. I got some healing to do. But yeah, what a
Very
10 years!
good.
It's been amazing, man. It loved every minute of it. And
Yeah.
I think working that close with people, you see the good, the bad, the ugly of each other's
Yes.
lives, and just what goes on. So this is actually a very relevant conversation, I think, with the amount of
Yeah.
history that we have together. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's
Totally.
exciting.
Totally, man. So you've
Yeah.
recently made a shift in industries from the fitness industry that you were in for eons, and
Mm.
now into a new space in the finance space. So how's that transition for you been, and what sort of challenges have arisen for you in that move?
Yeah, it's been huge. It's been massively challenging. It's a completely different, industry. I don't know how to put it. You take any two opposite professions and then try to explain to someone, if they are a chef, tell them, hey, you're going to go switch careers and become a mechanical engineer. I'm sure there's something that they can apply,
Yeah.
but a lot of it you just can't. So for me, it started with having an amazing experience with my own broker, going through a messy separation and divorce, and not really knowing if I was going to be able to make it into the market and own my own home like I wanted to. And this broker made it possible. And I was like, I think I can do this. I need to learn and whatnot. And then just through circumstances of the pandemic, the lockdowns, fitness getting shut down pretty quickly as a
Yes.
result, and then being a new dad. I was a dad for about 6 days before the country went into lockdown, and we all
Yeah.
lost our jobs and income with mortgages and all that stuff that we had. So I'm like, I've got to get something else behind me that's not going to be affected as much, with the
Yes.
pandemic. So hugely challenging. I'm uncomfortable, but I love every minute of it, because I know that, that uncomfortable space is where the magic happens.
Yeah, mate. Totally.
So, I'm a bit of a weird animal. I enjoy the uncomfortability in some
Yeah.
aspects.
Totally, man.
It's a
Totally.
bit,
It's when
bit of
we
sick
grow,
puppy with
right?
that. That's exactly
When we
right. Yeah,
grow.
100%.
Yeah.
So you look, in terms of the people skills, that's what I felt that I could bring to the role. The legislation, lending, loan structuring, the 60 different lenders we talk to and all of their separate policies and stuff. You just learn that by doing, and it's just reps. It's reps, reps, reps. We come from the fitness industry, so it's just all about
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
reps, the better you get at it,
Yeah,
So
you've been in that leadership role a lot in the space in which I've known you, and it seems
mm,
to be, a part of, ingrained in you, that born leader. And with that,
mm.
obviously comes, pressures and stresses to, you know, be able to help and serve and guide people. So with that, how do you cope, I guess, or better deal with those stresses and pressures and the challenges that
Yeah,
come with the leadership role?
that's a really good question. I think, like anything, the more you do it, it does get easier. That first couple of weeks that I got asked to step into the acting general manager role, I wasn't sleeping. I'm pretty sure I probably gave myself stomach ulcers and just thought I had some bad indigestion, because I was like, how do I do this? I'm not equipped for
Yes.
this. I don't know what's expected of me. People follow me in the sales space based on my results, but people have nothing to follow in terms of my ability to lead or manage a business, a club. At that point, I think it was 2,500 members or something along those lines. So dealing with all of the pressures of that, if you would ask me when I first, jumped into that maybe 9 years ago, I probably wouldn't have had an answer for you. Now I live by sort of two rules, and that is don't panic and just don't give up, So if you can reduce the panic factor as best as possible, and then if you decide, as rough as this may be, I'm just going to commit to keep showing up, and I'm going to commit to the suck, because this sucks and this hurts and this is hard, and this is, if I can commit to this season of suck, because it is a season, it doesn't last forever, and just reduce the panic factor, I think you're immediately putting yourself into a realm of people that succeed, that wouldn't succeed unless they did those couple of things, and I think that's where a lot of people book it, because it's like panic too much, and they future catastrophize. So my head is already in the future, and the plays in my head is the catastrophe. It is the worst case scenario, which is what our brains are wired to do, right? Our brains are wired not to make us happy. Our brains are wired to keep us safe. So that software is going to go, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? And it's like pop-up windows on a computer, and I don't know where the music's coming from, and I'm trying to get back to work. It's like, okay, thank you, brain. Thank you, software. Yes, these are all potential scenarios. These are all potential catastrophes, but I don't know who said it or where I picked it up. Someone said to me, it'll take the same amount of energy to believe that the best can happen as it does to believe the worst can happen.
Yeah.
And both scenarios are submitting something to that hasn't happened yet either.
Yes.
So you don't have to subscribe to one or the other. You have to physically choose which one you're going to, subscribe to. So I think the more mindful you can get, the more self-aware you can get with that definitely helps with the panic part. And then the not give up part, I think that is more to do with your grit. And that comes down to how you're wired and just, I guess, maybe upbringing, I'd love to hear your take on that as well. But committing to the suck and committing to the tough environment and committing to the season of it just being hard. And I'm in that season now, committing to that. I think that's part makeup. It's part your wiring. But I think it's mainly you being able to go, you know what, let's be under no illusions. This is going to be tough, and we are going to embrace it, and we are going to go, yes. It's like a workout, that first 5 to 10 minutes, your chest is burning, your legs feel heavy, but you're like, cool, I came into this knowing that when I'm hitting that sort of uncomfortable feeling, that's where the results are happening,
Exactly.
So, it's that delayed gratification for the current, grossness.
100%. Yeah.
So that was a really long-winded answer to that. There was a lot. There's a lot to that. Yeah.
I love those two things. Yeah. Don't panic, and just commit, and just don't give up. Don't panic. Don't give up. And I think that's when I do coaching sessions with clients, there's always at the end of the session, I say, what was the aha? What was the most take-home point from today's session that I said, that you said, that we came up with, that you just randomly thought? And for me, straight up, that sort of summarized a lot of things, not to panic, be in the moment, and just don't give up, because you get through those challenges. And I think, one of the things personally with, change and struggles and stresses and the gym and any sort of new venture is that building the evidence that you can cope and that you did okay, that reflection of,
100%.
that was a hard workout, but I lifted that weight. Or I didn't think I was going to get there, but I actually did. And I'm now a little bit happier. Or I couldn't possibly see myself buying my first home, and I saved weekly. And then in hindsight, I fucking did that. I bought that house.
Right?
And that evidence, that building that evidence that I did. It sucked, but now playing that long game, there was those reps, as you said, they counted. Every single rep in hindsight counted. So that's awesome.
And part of that fear factor dissipates each time that you do that as well. The catastrophizing and the fear factor and the panic factor, it just dissolves with the more that you do it. So I think that's, that spot, like the whole workout, it's so true. You go in going, oh, I immediately regret this decision to work out right now.
legs again.
And with about 10 minutes in, you're like, get the defib ready, have the ambulance meet me with a gurney.
Get me out.
Exactly. And then when that 30-minute or 45-minute session, it's like, okay, we're wrapping up, we're doing the cool down, we're stretching. And then you start to feel like, yes, the momentum, the gratitude, the confidence, and you walk out of that place like, I'm like, yes, badass runs in my veins. I am an Olympic athlete. It's like, you know,
until the next session where it just repeats.
Exactly. 100%.
If someone said to describe you, for me, two big things that jump out, two words: optimism and energy. Optimism and energy, and especially, I think they to a degree go hand in hand. But optimism and energy, your optimism in everything that you seem to do and your energy is contagious. Like, you walk into the gym and we'd know when you're in there, you'd be high-fiving people, you'd be hugging the staff members, you'd be calling out to other members. Like, everybody feels it when you walk into a room, and it elevates people. Like, is that again something that you've found you've had your whole life, or you work at it? Or do you have days when you just can't be asked putting that on, or is it just there and it's just optimism and energy? What's your secret there?
Great question.
Is there
I don't know if there's that was the question that hearing that question, my question was, is there a secret? That's actually the sub question to the question. But I think part of it is your makeup, part of it is personality, DNA, your wiring, that's definitely part of it. I've never been the quiet, unless I'm really uncomfortable and I'm just getting a read of the herd atmosphere, and just I'll generally be amongst it. When I'm at my most comfortable, that is the Dax that you'll see. When I'm super uncomfortable, I'll be getting a read on everything, and I'm surveying the landscape, right? I'm sizing people up. I'm looking, okay, cool. What are the friends? What are the foes? What are the potential running mates in this environment that I'm in right now? Yeah. So I go amphibian brain when I'm not sure of the environment that I'm in. But when I'm in an environment which I understand, I know who I am and I'm comfortable in that environment, that is where you'll see me in that state, in that real sort of high energy, high optimism flow state. I've got to be 100% real with you. There are times where I feel crippled with indecision, crippled with a lack of confidence. And whether that be a moment in parenting, or a moment as a husband, and we're trying to make decisions as, crucial decisions as a family, like a career change. So that's not me all of the time, but it is me when I'm confident and I'm very comfortable with where things are at, right? So I think partly, DNA, partly makeup, but then that, I call it a gift. I think if you're gifted with some of that, that's not always enough either. You have to learn to hone that. You might be gifted with a hunk of metal, but it's up to you to begin to pound it and shape it and sharpen it and wield it before you're a warrior, you're a swordsman. So I think it's part just personality and something that maybe I was
nurturing that.
Yeah, 100%. You're gifted with. I believe every single human being walking this earth is gifted with some talent or ability of some sort. And where you see people do extraordinary and significant things are generally the ones that have actually taken the time to hone it and be conscious of it, and take stock on when it serves them best to really apply that. So I think just over the years that you and I have been friends and colleagues and associates, there's been a real honing and a development side to that. But it is by nature who I am, and then it's just channeling that to get the best possible outcome, in every situation. So with the energy side, I think that's also me. Sometimes when I get home, though, I'm almost depleted. I can't.
I've lost it all. It's all done. That's it.
You know what? I just want to strip the clothes off, get naked, and be in my nothing room. But no. So I'll sit on the couch I used to. Prior to being a dad, I would sit down and just scroll the phone for half an hour, or get a drink and just chill. Not always an alcoholic beverage. That's not my go-to really, but but just get a drink and just have 10 minutes of peace and quiet, just for the recharge. Because no matter how big your battery is, it needs to be recharged, or it needs to be fueled somewhere. So yes, consciously you will turn it on to influence and to lead, and to, especially when your team's in a tough spot. If the captain's worried, everyone on deck is going to be even more worried. So there is an element to leadership in that space where it's like, hey, you know what? We are in rough, troubled waters, but my job right now is to bring this together and just, guys, let's just pull this down and let's anchor. And okay, deep breath, and we are going to pilot this through to calmer waters.
Yeah.
But right now, this is just go time. This is game time. But we are doing this together, and I don't always get it right, but I'll always try to lead that from the front as much as I can.
Stay calm and don't give up.
Yeah, I think
those two things,
man. That's it. That's exactly right.
What's one bit of advice you would give a younger you, whether that's a 10-year-old you, whether that's a you 1 year ago? What's one bit of advice, personal, professional, anything that sort of jumps out?
One thing that I still wrestle with today, Mick, and this might even come as a surprise to those that have worked with me or around me, at times I really struggle to back myself. I think growing up with a dad that I only saw periodically, and this is I'm not gonna speak to the gender influence in a child's life. It's not that, but for me personally, I think I'm still working out the kinks of not having a strong father figure to instill in me from a very young age. You've got this. Even if you stack it and fall flat on your face, you get up and you've still got this. I was raised predominantly by just, badass females, energy, which has been amazing. Helps me understand myself better, more emotionally. But I think there's also times where I've struggled to just go, no, dude, you can do this. And even if you fail at it, that is okay.
Yes.
Fail, first attempt in learning. It's okay to stack. It's, and it's probably not going to be as bad as what you're catastrophizing it will be. You'll scrape a knee, you'll stub a toe, you may even chip a tooth, but it's no one's going to die from that. I feel like in the last few years, Mick, I've only really started to get steam on that, and I still today have to pull myself. No, man, back yourself. Back yourself, and deal with the mistake if there's a mistake, or deal with the stack once there's a stack. But better to do something and better to have a swing and miss than just to stand there holding the bat and balls flying past you and opportunities flying past you. So that would be some advice that I would give myself from a young age all the way through to last week.
The Mindful Men Project, a big part of it is mental health and wellbeing. So the words mental health, like how have they been evident in your life or your life of any of your loved ones, friends, family that you're happy to share? Like what sort of connection do you have with mental health?
Yeah, mental health, I think my relationship and even my understanding of mental health, if you'd said mental health to me 10 years ago, I'm like, what, does my brain function correctly? Like, you know what I mean? Now it's getting brought to the forefront of our day-to-day life, and it needs to be. So I think my definition and understanding and my relationship with my own mental health has been directly tied to Dax knowing who Dax is, and Dax being able to just get a gauge on Dax. You know what I mean? You responded really out of character to that 10 minutes ago, and just taking stock of what's going on around you. What's your thought process like at the moment? Okay, cool. Maybe you're focusing a little too much on the problem, and this is the problem. But if you bring it to here, that's all I see in my field of view, right? But if I just, push that out, now I see it on the landscape of my life. Okay, it's not as big as what I'm maybe thinking it is. Practicing gratitude for me is massive. When I'm under a lot of stress, when I'm under these last few months where I'm just like far out, I've just put my career on the line. I've got a wife, I've got a daughter, we've got mortgages, and you're just going to switch careers 19 years in at 38 years old, like hashtag midlife crisis, red flag. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, dude, no matter how bad this is getting and how bad you feel right now, there's someone out there begging God for another chance and another day, because they're in a hospital bed right now with tubes hanging out of them, or they are somewhere in a really, really tight space praying for the problems that I've got right now. So me practicing the gratitude of that, me reminding myself of, hang on, but you've got an amazingly supportive wife. You've got a really, really high quality circle of people around you. You have access to the most information at your fingertips. We are in the greatest error ever when it comes to being able to figure this stuff out.
Yes.
So I have to consciously
level,
accessibility, man, being able to do this, and as taboo as it still is for guys to talk about guy stuff in this vulnerable, sort of manner, and it be a safe place, I feel like we are in the best, environment for that than we've ever been as men as well. Whereas, in previous years, we had to be the Dwayne Johnson, Vin Diesel, Fast and Furious stereotype of what masculinity looks like, which I think has really steered a lot of men wrong.
Yes.
Maybe on how to get a gauge on what healthy masculinity looks like, as entertaining as it is on screen. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
You know what I mean? So I think for me, mental, that side of it is huge. Mental health is, for me, I'm like your mental health, your emotional health, that out of that flows your entire life, every relationship, the relationship with yourself, the relationship with your spouse, partner, kids, family, business, clients, whoever it is, everything stems out of your mental and emotional state. So for me, I'm like, physical, mental, emotional health that's the trifecta. You need to. There's nothing else that we can really enjoy in life until we have these three things in a healthy spot. So that's my take on it anyway. And I'm still learning and developing this every single day. So
so true, man. Like those balls in the air. I remember you saying once in the PT office, because as I said, when you speak, people listen. I remember you saying that we have these balls up in the air, and some are glass and some are rubber. And the glass balls we just can't drop. They're the priority. They are there. Nothing. There's no question that they have to stay in the air. And the rubber balls, we can go, you know what? I'll drop that. It'll bounce. I'll tend to it later. So, for me personally, and a lot of the people that I've spoken to, they're starting to realize that mental health is a glass ball, because if you drop that, most of the other balls will drop as well.
100%.
To a degree, So I think that's our health, as as well as mental health and physical. You won't think they're a priority until you break your leg, or until you're diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
Yes.
Or until you're told you've got this or this, or you need to lose this sort of weight, or you're on this medical. Then it comes to the forefront of your awareness. You're like, shit, now I need to actually take action on that, because it's affecting my energy, my sleep, my work productivity, 100%. My relationships, my ability to parent, my ability to work, all of that sort of stuff. So one of those glass balls is sort of definitely where it's at these days.
It's so true. And I think even when you explain it like that, Mick, to someone, and you go, hey, and they realize, far out, I feel like I'm juggling. And even that is uncomfortable for me. But it's at the end of the day, that juggle is unavoidable. And that juggle, when they realize, oh, hang on, life is going to be the juggle. And it is absolutely inevitable and expected. And no one's going to judge me for dropping a ball, where we can just spend our energy on which balls get dropped. Rubber ones, no harm, no foul, all good. But the glass ones, the glass ones are the ones you want to dive for. That's hacky sack energy. You know what I mean? That's the one you dive for. The rubber ones, all good. They bounce. Glass ones, they're the ones that are very difficult to get back once broken. So
next keyword that comes to me in regards to DJ Dax Jarrett is kindness. You seem to ooze kindness. There's always time for people, irrespective of whether it's the CEO or the janitor, and I think, that whole saying, you treat people, the cleaner the same way as you treat the CEO, I try and live by that too, but that's something that is very evident with your dealings of everybody. And that kindness that you display, what role do you think kindness plays in the mental well-being of the kind person? So for you, how do you believe that kindness, obviously being kind to others, is amazing for them, but how do you find that is deflected and reflected, should I say, back into the space of mental well-being?
That's a great question. I think for me, the emotional kickback, and you don't do it for the emotional kickback. I don't. I think it's just it's partly who I am, and then it's part result of just some of my experiences in life. But being able to be kind to someone and know that, hey, they were probably, they needed that far more than I needed that 5 minutes, you know what I mean? But that did something significant for their day or their life, or, you're in the industry as well, man, where you might think, oh yeah, here's another consult or whatnot, but that was the deciding factor in them turning their life around. You know, it might have been that 10-minute conversation. So for me, I am acutely aware of, cool, for me, it's Tuesday. For me, it's 5 minutes while I'm cleaning up some emails and someone comes to the door and says, hey, Dax, man, have you got 5 minutes? I'm like, dude, the door's open. Take a seat. Talk to me.
Yes.
You know, I'm Godfather like that. I'm like, take a seat. Let's talk. You know, talk to me.
Yeah.
Tell me everything. You always hear me. Eliza, you know, from work would always say, Dax, Lord, tell me everything. I don't know what to tell you.
Tell me something.
Tell me something. Number one, I think for me, I'm fascinated by people. So I'm acutely interested in them. And for me, I think your funeral matters. So the day that I go, who's at the funeral? You know what I mean? I want everybody getting up on that mic going, I thought I was his best friend. You know what I mean? So for me, significance, which is a big piece of my core values, living a life that's actually significant. The way I see significance play out in your life is the contributions you make to the lives of others, you know? And some of us are going to make contributions that are heavily time, money, resource, energy, you know, that might be our kids, our spouses, our close friends, family. And then there's others where, cool, I only had 10 minutes with that human being, but I want them to be better as a result of that 10 minutes with me, some way, shape or form. That's not me running around trying to fix everyone, but if it's an organic opportunity for us to connect, for us to compare notes, and if I can go, hey, this is in my cup, pour it into yours, hopefully, you know, that'll help you go somewhere. To me, that's the biggest cool factor and kickback for me. I think also I was bullied quite a bit as a kid. Number one, starting with my name. So I got called Dax Knickers and trousers and skid marks, and I got all of this stuff from a young age. So I know what it's like on the other end of people maybe not being so kind. So I probably got some childhood emotional baggage, which also keeps me in that mindful state of, dude, just be kind, you know? For me, big people, like not physically, but the big people that I'm ever around, they've just got this kindness where people light up and come alive around them. And I'm like, I want to be that. I want to be that guy. I want to be the kind of guy who's like, I don't even know what it is, but when I'm around him, I just go, I don't know what it is. It's like I've plugged myself into electrical point or whatever. And I think, look, as well, without going, without going too much into that, I think my faith as well, you know, my belief in God and my personal relationship with God over the years is very much evolved and changed. But that's something that the energy, the kindness, I know that that's not all Dax for me personally. I stuff up, I mess up every day. The old-fashioned biblical term is, you know, you sin, you fall short or whatever. And my understanding of our faith is a God that is not waiting to bash you with a stick, but it's like, you messed up. Let me help you up. Let's go again. You know what I mean? So for me, that maybe spiritual relationship as well, or father figure in this case, you know, that spiritual father figure is like, Dax, man, you stuffed up. You screwed the pooch royally. You know, you really messed up. But the good thing is, I'm all about the second chance, and I'm all about the underdog. You know, so our faith is all about the underdog doing epic things. So that probably is deeply ingrained in my decision making, my thought process, and then how I try to interact with with fellow human beings as well. I do my best anyway. Sometimes I'm flipping people off in traffic, and I'm like, you know. So I'm human. You know what I mean? Like it's I'm not always shining. Hopefully that answers that.
Man. It was funny when you were describing that person that you sort of thought, you know, when I'm around them, I plug in and they energize me. That sounds like you're describing yourself, because that's the impact that you have on people's lives. So I think you're sort of stepping into that pretty bloody well, because that's why I've got you on. And that's why I wanted to chat to you, because you are that person
thanks, man.
in so many people's lives. To wrap up, you're a hard worker, you're a great man, you're a family man, you're one of the most motivated people I have ever met. What do you do to relax? What do you do to chill? What do you do that's not self-development, it's not growth, it's not hustle, that's just kick back and DJ on chill mode? What does that look like for you?
Great question. Part of it, Dude, I drive. I've always commuted in some form or fashion, other than, the sort of year that I was working only 10 minutes from home. I've always commuted. So for me, that's my chill time. I'm a little bit in my nothing room. It allows me to gear up for the day, or it allows me to take the day off before I walk through the door. And then it's dad and husband, and, you're into the family life. So for me, chill mode, I love time around my family. That is where I recharge, time with loved ones. And you know what? Week to week, month to month, it may even look different. Recently, now that I'm not working in a gym in the fitness environment, I'm like, I cannot wait to get back to the gym to train, to recharge myself. And there might be people listening to this going, what? You want to go lift weights and as a part to feel more energetic? Yes. Try it and you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like for me, exercise and training and lifting weights mentally, and I feel like I get a test boost, just from lifting weights, and I feel like, I feel this is good, and not in a toxic masculinity way, but just in a strong, feel good, positive, euphoric, take on the world. It's like a starter motor for my engine. You know what I mean? It's what charges my batteries while I'm running. And then other times you'll find me, and it's very, very rare nowadays, but I'm like, cool, I'm going to take an hour out by myself. I'm going to go make a pod machine coffee. I'm going to get a donut, and I'm just going to sit down, and I'm just going to shoot bad guys on the PlayStation for an hour. And it's going to be amazing. So the little boy in me that used to run around the neighborhood with a stick, you know what I mean? I'm like,
it's still in there.
It's still in there, man. I can't do it. At 6'4" and 108 kilos, I can't do that. I'd be in prison real quick. But, to get a little bit of creative expression and whatnot, and a bit of chill time, the PlayStation, I enjoy that every now and again. I'm an old school, old-fashioned old classic movie guy. I have no qualms with taking myself to the movies and watching a movie, going to see a movie by myself. Get some popcorn, get a Diet Coke, and I'm like, hey, I am feet up and loving this, and just chilling. I enjoy Happy that. Days. Other times, I'll sit and read. Other times, which I guess is still self-development at times. But doing this refills my tank as well. I love it. I feel like iron sharpens iron, which is what I feel in every conversation with you, whether it was 2 minutes in the office through a window, or whether it's us taking time out of our schedules to do this and get real intentional about it and breaking it down. But I guess family, exercise, all the stuff that just feels good to the soul and the spirit, and I don't know, if I was a surfer, it would probably be surfing and stuff like that too. I've only surfed once in my life, and that didn't go so well. So, but for that 10 minutes, I was just trying to balance on that board past the break. I was like, I can see why people do this. I got no phones, no one trying to get to me. Yes, I'm probably shark bait out here right now, but in this moment right here, present, I'm like, this is beyond a recreational hobby. There is just something that just grounded. And dude, I did it once with a bunch of. There is something to this that is hitting my spirit different, where I'm just floating on this on this fiberglass board. A 10-foot mal with no leggy, actually. They set me up. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. But in that, pretty much. But in that moment, I was like, this is amazing. And you feel things recharge. Sitting at a cafe with Jasmine, or by myself, sipping a latte in the sun. Something like that, is chill time, is downtime for me also. So I think everyone finds their uniqueness. Simple things, man. Just the simple things. Doesn't need to be fine dining. It doesn't. Just the simple things and the things that actually matter. The things that matter. Yeah, that's me.
Thank you so much for taking the time, Dax. You're a legend, mate. You've gone from here to here in my books and continue to do so, mate. So thank you so much. Good luck with the new venture.
Not at all.
No doubt, kill it.
Thank you so much, and man, thank you. Yeah, I think what you're doing and the initiative that you're creating, and that passion and that skill set that you're bringing together for the Mindful Men, the Mindful Men project and whatnot is sorely needed, and it's awesome to watch, man. It's awesome.
Thanks,
You've gone
man.
from strength to strength over the years that I've known you, so you should be extremely proud of that as well, man.
Thank you, mate.
I'm honored to know you. I'm honored to call you a friend.
Means a lot, man. Thank you so much for your time.